It's Matt Mosley Show. And, man, shout out to everyone out there. I just got a picture from my sister. My father's listening today. He's having a big time, what looks like maybe up in McKinney, Texas. What a great place that is this time of year. The square, Dickens on the square, all the things that they do right there in McKinney. The old Lawrence Jewelry Store used to be on the square up there, right across from Square Burger now is where it was located. And that's my grandfather, Scotty. He was he repaired everything, a jeweler, and it was quite a time. We grew up right there in McKinney, so it's great to still have family in McKinney, where my mom grew up. All right, so shout out to all the folks that gathered in McKinney, gathered around a fire to listen to the Mosley, like a fireside chat, basically. So former Baylor great John Mosley, shout out to you. Now let's Scotty, let's dig in a little bit. I mean, this is there was a lot going on yesterday. Now we will have departures. We will have to say goodbye to players along the way. The exit interviews have started to happen. I think I noticed where Jeremy Evans, I once kind of thought Jeremy Evans might be a pretty good player, and sometimes this season, Scotty, I'd go, oh, that guy's still on the team. Oh, man, look at that, number 42, I think I remember him. Oh, wait, who's 41? Oh, that's Burns out there. That's the young guy. These things happen, and so he's moved on. I would think over the next week, you're going to hear about a dozen players, at least. Somewhere in the neighborhood, and part of this is, there may be a few that you're like, dang it, man, I hate to lose that kid, but for the most part, listen, you got the money, it's time to hit on this class, the portal is huge, and it was addressed yesterday also, Scotty, about the bowl game. And you and I talked about it, nobody was, I was joking with the President Livingstone yesterday about, she said, well, we had friends. She had friends in Birmingham, and I said, well, yeah, I do too. I was ready to see some of those friends in Birmingham. Christmas, I was just joking with her. I'm like, you didn't want to do Christmas in Birmingham, but the Bears did not. The Bears decided to stay home, focus on the portal that'll open. Portal opens January 2nd and goes till January 16th. You're like, what about those other kids leaving who hit the portal? Well, that's how it works, okay? They don't all stay around and huddle at the portal and then wait till New Year's to jump in the portal. It's just that's when it officially opens and closes, all right? That's when you kind of got to get on the paperwork right now. The team started recruiting in the portal, the programs, I don't know, like last year. Like the season before last. I mean, they're trying to tamper with your rosters from the get-go. All right, and I saw Sonny Dykes today saying, well, we gotta circle around Josh Hoover. That's kind of like the Cap Sigs used to do at Baylor. They would try to, they know Mosley wanted a young guy to be in our fraternity, and they would circle the guy up at their rush event, and they'd pray over him, so he couldn't get over and get to the Fiji smoker. They tried to do that with my buddy Adam McKelvey, and he escaped the prayer circle and somehow made it into Fiji. It's an old technique, and they kind of try to do that in college football too. I don't know if they're praying over anybody, but they circle him up, and they don't want to let him out. Scotty, just so you know how it used to work. The old Baylor, that not sound like the most Baylor thing ever. When I talked to somebody, I couldn't come to your smoker because they got around me in a circle and started praying over me. I'm like, whoa, man, that's something you wouldn't happen. You wouldn't see in our fraternity. Fight guys might do that. But boy, back in the day, Scotty, even the Cap 6 were doing some major prayer time to try to get the folks to come over. And I don't know what they're doing right now. I feel like the K-Sigs may have gone kind of the party direction, which okay, people can do whatever they want, but they're not quite what the K-Sigs were. I don't know. It's only been 30 years, 25 years. I'm talking about going back to about 25 years ago. All right, Scotty, let's check in. I want to listen to a little bit of Doug McNamee's, and there were some really good moments in this, and some really cool, like, we talked about family, we talked about it, and what I have to remember is, like, we're going to see when we were asking him questions in that part of it. The other thing that you won't see here is he was kind of talking to the fans that were there about entertainment. The only thing I saw some pushback on was he was talking about how competitive he is, you got to win, but win or lose, the fans have to have a good time at the games. Really on the surface, I don't see anything wrong with that statement, but I think some people took it to, the way it was unfortunately put out there by one of my friends in the media, it kind of looked like, well, we're just trying to get everybody to have a good time at the games, win or lose, let's all shake hands after the game and give each other hugs. And again, the name of the game is still about winning. Doug knows that. Doug knows that no matter how entertaining the music is or whatever they're doing, I was kind of joking, Scotty, I put it out there that I meant to ask him about bringing the live mascot back to the stadium. And I kind of was just joking about that, right? And more people on Twitter like, yes, yeah, man, I wish you had asked him that. Like, we need to get the Bears back out there. I would like to, I'm for that. I don't think it's going to happen because Peter or somebody will get mad. Why can't we put that Longhorn? I know Bears maybe are smarter than Longhorns in a lot of different ways, but why do certain animals get to be around crowds like that? I mean, that dogs are smart, but yet that collie gets to go to that loud environment. And why can't you take a dog out there, and the dog, Smokey the dog at Tennessee, why can't you take a nice little bear cub? It won't hurt anybody. The bears are kind of growing up. I think Indian Bell, if I had to check right now, I bet they're sitting there, I bet they've reached how big are bears? I don't know. What do they get to be? Like 400 or 500 pounds or something, maybe more? I bet they at least have made it up to around 200, okay? They're kind of at Mosley level. You have to keep going north on that. Okay, Scotty, let's check in. I want to listen to a little bit of Doug McNamee, and we'll jump in and I'll react to some of what you hear. Here is Doug McNamee with some of his comments at his press conference yesterday. Y'all, thanks for being here. We'll open up just other statements of Doug and Linda, and then we'll take questions. We'll handle like we did with our first game where you can raise your hand, call on you. All right, I didn't really need this. I'll start then with Doug today. We're just thrilled to have Doug joining us, returning early to Baylor as our director of athletics, and we had a really quick search. Took about 2.5 weeks to get to this point after we started the process, and just deeply grateful to Bob O'D, who helped us with the search. And really, we looked at a wide swath of types of candidates from the sitting athletic directors of both Power 4 and G6 conferences, as well as some non-traditional candidates. And at the end of the day, after doing that and thinking about the current and dynamic landscape in college athletics, felt like Doug brought all the things to the table that we were looking for. He certainly had background in athletics. He knows and loves Baylor, deeply committed to Baylor, but he brings an entrepreneurial spirit. He's done media deals, he's done corporate partnerships, he's done all kinds of brand building. And so we just felt like for what we need in the way college athletics is going, he just brought the perfect combination of skills to the table. And so we're thrilled to have him and really looking forward to his leadership of our athletics program. Well, it's an honor. A huge gratitude to President Livingstone and to the Board of Regents and to everyone in the Baylor family. This was a 27-year journey for me to get the absolute one-of-one job opportunity. And I just feel like it's a great day for Baylor family. We are going to prioritize the Baylor family and just super appreciative of what I think is a bold but trend-setting decision the President made. Excited to get to work, roll up our sleeves. I think we've got a great group of coaches, incredible student athletes, and a one-of-one institution to get to pull them to. So looking forward to working with each of you. Appreciate the way you cover and support us, and excited to take your questions. Now, you addressed it a little bit in there, but it's been a minute since you were working for Baylor Athletics. Like, a lot's changed in the last 7 years. How do you navigate all the new things that have happened? Yeah, Bryce, thank you. I mean, it has never left me, first of all. It wasn't my job, it's remained my passion. So I've certainly monitored it closely. But certainly the revenue component of college athletics has really been amplified over the last 7 years. And the last 7 years have prepared me, I think, to tackle that well. And so I would just say to you, there's a lot of change. It's difficult to keep up with all the things that are happening and all the legislations, different conversations. I've been reading it frequently. But I'll tell you, as a department and university, we'll be nimble. We'll be ready. We'll be on the forefront to adjust to whatever's necessary and put our university in the best possible position to be successful. If we're going to compete in a sport, we're interested in winning the sport. And so we will do whatever it takes, as long as we do it in light of the mission that we have as a university to make sure that we're most successful. President Livingstone, Parker, given the candidates in this search and just the effort you guys put in a short time frame, was it important to you that you brought back somebody that is a Baylor alum, like a Baylor-centric person, and what kind of that factor in the process? I mean, it was one of the factors that all the candidates that we looked at did not necessarily have Baylor ties, but we were kind of looking for as complete a package as we could find. Everybody brings strengths to the table, everybody brings things to the table where they're going to need others to help support them and encourage them. So I would say for Doug, the fact that he is a Baylor person and has deep Baylor ties was a benefit and certainly added to the equation and certainly helped tip the scale. But overall, in a lot of other ways, he was our strongest candidate. So it certainly mattered a lot, but it wasn't sort of a deciding factor necessarily of what we chose to do. All right, hold on a second here, Scotty. We got to line that up, Scotty. I can't believe I interrupted myself. Rogue Media's own Matt Mosley was about to ask a question. How dare I cut in on him? Okay. I don't. It's interesting. Like, do you need a Baylor person right now? Well, it helps. It helps kind of unite everybody and the Baylor people who don't feel heard and feel disconnected. But Scotty, we talked about, like, you also have to keep in mind you've got to strengthen your ties and get the community more involved. And Baylor people didn't go to Baylor and all that. So again, I don't think that was the only. What you're about to hear me ask. Maybe I got to it too quickly. But it's what everybody wants to know. Like, what are you going to do with football? What are you going to do with this coach? This coach got saved by a guy with scandal. Now, that's okay. People sometimes take advantage of getting saved. Whether it's like a profession of faith or whatever. You take advantage of it. You got a second or I don't know how many chances, third, fourth chance. Aranda, all you can hope now is, and one thing I thought about asking was like, are you committed to bringing Dave back for this season? Because you're like, well, Matt, she's already said it. But he's the new guy. He's the new. I think some people are holding out hope that he might come in and go, this is too far down. We need to either have an interim or something, but we need to get him out of here. Okay. I think also we knew that was not going to happen. So I just think we need to honor the fact. I think the Baylor people in the crowd, me, everybody, but there are also other people that cover the team. Like one of them went to Michigan State. Our friend Zach, Scotty, I had to laugh at him because we're all back there, right? And of course, I'm in the media and I'm back there, so I'm not going to put up though I've done it many times in my life. I'm not at the end of the public session. They did the Baylor line. Everybody put their claw up. And I noticed he just like went racing out of the room. But I was thinking in that moment, that was the Baylor people coming together, and that crowd that was there is more of the supportive, not ever going to say anything rude to President Livingstone or anything like that. I'm also aware that there are a ton of people out there who are angry with her, want her fired, do not like how she's handled this. I think she's aware of that. I think if I had to do all over again, if I had another question, you'll hear what I asked her in a second. But I think I might have asked her, like, do you have some damage repair to do with this fan base? Because they, I mean, whether it's fair or not, you didn't do what they wanted you to do. You have a team that spiraled out, finished horribly, finished 5-7, and everybody was wanting to change, and you decided to retain him. And then some people are like, I know some people are mad like the timing of it. You gotta wait until the end of the season. Retaining Dave Aranda was gonna feel bad to most of the fan base, no matter when you did it. So I think she decided, let's just do this, hope for the best, hope they somehow win a couple of games, and they did not. And they did not become bowl eligible. And then they became bowl whatever, like poverty, bowl charity. And they're like, well, okay, we don't have enough bowl teams, but you guys come play Georgia Southern. Like, no, we're good. We're good. We don't even know what coaches are going to be around, and we're asking players to leave, and we're not going to fill the team. And that's good. That's the right decision. Okay, Scotty, let's see what this Mosley has to ask here. Necessary and put our university in the best possible position to be successful. Oh no, we skipped. And put our university in the best possible, do whatever it takes, as long as we do it in light of the mission that we have as a university to make sure that we're most successful. All right, we're trying to get. I think Scotty he was probably trying to back it up a little bit so you could hear my full question. To get to pull them too. So looking forward to working with each of you. Appreciate the way you cover and support us, and excited to take your questions. Now this goes back to the first. It's okay, Scotty. Let me while you work on that, let me just talk for a second. If you'll just you're fine. No rush. Just kind of get it back to where I was going to ask that question. Sometimes it can be tough when I start to stop these things, and of course I interrupted it right in the middle of one of my questions, which was about Dave Aranda, and he's going to talk about the football program and all of that. We'll get back to that, but the question that we accidentally got to right there, it's interesting. I think there are a lot of Baylor fans, not just Gary Baxter, who was asking that question. What's Baylor going to do about alcohol? They're going to sell alcohol. Could they get the revenue? So that's a catch-22 situation because there's going to be part of this is not just sound like I'm saying old Baylor. This is old and new Baylor. There will be people that are like, let's stick to what Baylor really is. I mean, let TCU and SMU have beer sales and have their alcohol sales. Let's at least continue not to do that. Because the truth is, all these places, even University of Texas and Texas A&M, didn't start doing this until the past 5 to 7 years. It's not like they've been doing it forever. You can always get beer at a Texas game. Yeah, in the parking lot, but not in the stadium. All of this is relatively new. So I think it's probably unfair to act like Baylor's in the dark ages on this, or maybe Baylor is in the dark ages on some of it. So I think you have to do cost-benefit analysis. Does an extra $3 to $4 million in revenue cover or help, the situation with the negative feedback you're going to get, the blowback that you're going to get. For the most part, everybody will still come to games. It won't ruin the atmosphere if they have the alcohol. And quite honestly, knowing Baylor people, yes, people will partake, but I can't see that it's going to like turn into like a crazy atmosphere. Like, oh my gosh, these people are just, and if it does, they'll do what they do at other stadiums. They'll get them out of there. I mean, Texas A&M does kind of a fun thing where the police department makes fun of the drunk people, and they call them out and they go, Section 232, we just had somebody out there, somebody was wandering around, not wearing where they were, and so we took them out of the stadium. It just provides an opportunity for the Waco PD or Baylor PD or whoever does these things to have a little fun. So we'll see. I don't have strong feelings, really, one way or the other. I'm in the press box. I'm not going to be having a drink or anything. So, wait, the media doesn't drink? Well, sure they do, but usually most of them wait till, after they're off duty, for goodness sakes. Now, maybe in the old days they didn't, but yes. Again, I don't really think it's necessary to have it. All right. And I don't think it really, honestly, enhances the experience that much that people think it does. Like, do you really think people are going to drink? They're going to do it anyway. Do you really think having alcohol is going to bring an extra 10,000 fans to the games? I don't think so, but some people might. That's fine. That's fine. Scotty, are we back? Let's check in again on this news conference. Doug McNamee and President Livingstone addressing the assembled media. That was a real media. Doug, congrats. What will your evaluation be like of Dave Miranda and the staff, and how will that, take a little time? So how quickly do you need to get through that as the portal and everything's hitting? And Dave and I've probably spoken 5 times in the last 36 hours. And, I told Dave, I said, first of all, I want to thank you. You brought some incredible memories and moments for me. I specifically called out that goal line stand against Oklahoma State to win the Big 12 championship. I wanted to also call out the victory in Lubbock last year where we went in there and defeated them while they were retiring Patrick Mahomes' jersey. And Dave and I both agreed that those really, really enjoyable moments, we need more of them. We haven't had enough of late. And so he shared that. We're in total alignment. We need more of those great moments. And it's been a tough road of late. And I just told him I'm here to do whatever it takes to help them be as successful as we possibly can. We're in it to win it. Dave's committed. And just, I think, early impressions. We've, again, brief, several phone calls. But I think he and I will work well together. Gary Baxter, ESPN Central Texas, Baylor alum. 100%. Yes, sir. I know this answered the question about evaluation, but what is your expectations for Coach Dave Miranda for 2026? Yeah, Gary, great to see you. Thanks for all your contributions. Enjoyed watching you play. And back to us, I've been here for all of about 3 hours, and so I would say that just we all collectively understand the importance of winning, and that is very, very clear in the trajectory of the program. I'm anxious to get over there and understand better the culture and what's working well, what needs to be improved. But I'd say at this point, it'd be premature to say anything beyond that. Other than we got to do better. We know current state is unacceptable. We got to keep driving that bus forward, and we will. All right. I think Gary's about to ask about NIL. It's funny, he said it's the last question, but then he came back and asked another one. Gary got involved in that thing. I thought that was good, Scotty, that he did go ahead and say the current state is unacceptable. He's one of those, Doug, I've known him for years, is, really nice person. But occasionally he'll say something that's a little more biting than the way he presents it. And those words were. And I think he knew, it's not like he could come out and trash Dave Miranda. I mean, he needs him to coach next season. He needs us to work the best he can. He needs to hit hard in the portal. I mean, this is going to be, like a lot of these teams, not just Baylor, but this is a one-year rental team. As somebody was sharing with me, or somebody, I think Colt was writing this, was like, he viewed next year as Dave being the interim coach. It's weird to be your own interim coach, but that's kind of a decent way to put it. That's what it feels like. Now, interim coaches can be so great. It happened at Boise State. They can somehow be retained. I think Dave Miranda, mediocrity and trying to stay around 500 is not going to cut it. And that's why this thing next year, SMU, you got an early SMU game, you got the Auburn game in Atlanta, you got a lot of stuff happening early. And if you lost 2 out of those first 3 games, there's one in there that they're going to win for sure at home. But if you lost 2 out of those first 3 games, again, we saw Penn State fire someone early. It didn't really help them. They didn't get ahead. They didn't really do much with their search. Like OSU, Virginia Tech, others did get ahead. Were ready to fire. The minute the season stopped, they were ready to go. And the next day, they had their coaches in place. That's what Baylor would have to do. And again, I don't know if they would. It doesn't feel like Baylor to throw a coach overboard in the season. But given what we've seen, I mean, if Mac had been allowed to stay and hadn't gotten involved in whatever he got involved in, I do think after that, the Utah game, they got blown out against Utah. I think they did. I think it would have happened then. I think there would have been an interim coach. And so Dave Miranda knows he's on borrowed time. He knows he's extremely fortunate. That doesn't mean Dave has to go around, like he's at a funeral everywhere he goes. I mean, I get it, man. And sometimes people say, well, that's how he acts. That's how he is. He's quiet. He's a whispery guy. Listen, there are other people. You're not the only ones who think it. If you don't think that coaches around the country aren't saying the same thing, I mean, I talk to ex-players who are coaches, and boy, they pick up on that. The thing I try to remind people of is that the players, they never give up on him, and even the recruits, and he did not cross the finish line with some of these guys. I get it. That recruiting class that we thought was so talented started coming unbuckled. All right, and I think they made a major push on that London Smith. I think fortunately we had Baylor people at other schools that were actually telling London's parents, from what I can tell, hey man, you work, the mom works at Baylor, the dad coaches right down the street, at university, man, hang in there, don't do this, no, hang in there and stay in there, and he did. And I credit the family, and I credit the kids. So I don't want it to be like, oh, it's outsiders that convinced him to stay with Baylor, because ultimately they have the final decision. But just know, this thing could have even been worse if you can believe it. There were people out there pulling along on this recruiting class, like, let's completely undo this thing. What they did is took Baylor's 3 top players. I think so. I mean, I don't have ratings in front of me, but Quinn's probably up there, fairly high. They're 3 of Baylor's headliners. Certainly they're 2 best. And so they took those players. So, all right, let's see here. Scotty, we'll take a break here in a minute, but let's listen to a little bit more. This is the press conference yesterday. Linda Livingstone and Doug McNamee, Baylor's new vice president and director of athletics. That was a big deal. just heard you and President Livingstone speak about, revenue generation and things like that. Would you guys consider maybe alcohol, selling alcohol at the stadium as part of that, helping you to create some revenue generation as well as having the game day experience for alumni and fans? Well, I will defer to the president of the Board of Regents as far as that decision is concerned. I will certainly provide perspective, but I want to be respectful for that specific decision. I would tell you, in general, though, every rock is going to be flipped over to evaluate if there's a revenue opportunity. I'd say that's my experience. Most recent company inherited and acquired a brand. We did it through 2 transactions from IP standpoint, had zero revenue, and we had to literally 2 years ago from zero revenue grow that in a really innovative way. There's all kinds of ways that we did that, and I think there's lessons that will be applied. But really, as it relates to revenue and within the college athletic department, we need to tell our story well. We need to tell what our purpose and our mission is, and we need to tell our constituency how they can come alongside and help us. And I think that's an opportunity for us to improve. There's so much confusion, and I would say, buzzwords around NIL and revenue. I think if we tell that story well and we show why it's important for Baylor to be successful in college athletics in this day and age, I am very confident. I've seen it happen before. We have a constituency and a fan base that will step up, and we will be able to support our teams and our student athletes at acceptable levels to be successful. Smith, the Waco Trend. Doug, your revenue building acumen really is a question. Where do you feel like you need to grow or learn in this job? Yeah, I think certainly it is the first time for me to sit in this chair. I think humility is a trait that you'll find for me to be consistently mindful of. I'm eager to get to connect with a lot of these Big 12 conference ADs. I know a handful of them. Eager to learn, ask questions. I think understand how to be most supportive to our coaches. I look at our coaches as CEOs, and I've had a chance to speak to every one of them today. I fortunately have a relationship with most of them that precedes this, but had a chance to talk to each one of them. And my team has been consistent. I want to make sure we have the best coaches in the country that are wanting to fulfill the mission of the university, and then do everything I can to support them. Get out of the way and support these guys. They are talented individuals on their own, and how can I walk alongside you and help you do your job better and support you and clear hurdles for them? So I would say as far as the growth, it's acknowledging that's going to be a first for me, but I think the humble approach is going to be super valuable and helpful, and I'm eager to do that with each of our coaches. All right. That last part was interesting. Supportive and come alongside the coaches. I'm not saying this what he was specifically even thinking about Matt Rhodes, but I was when hearing that. And that Matt, for all the good that Matt did, one I think issue Matt had. He could be tough on coaches. I think it's good to hold coaches accountable. I think a lot of times in this role as AD, you do kind of have to be kind of what he said. Matt Rhodes was not a get out of the way and let the coaches coach. Now, there's probably a happy medium here because Ian McCall, for all the success he had in hiring Art Riles and all the great basketball success he had with Kim and Scott, he was a humble, get out of the spotlight, let the coaches coach, and then really support them. Mac was a guy that, if things didn't go right against Arizona State or things, Mac was down there on that sideline, as we all know, and he was disgusted. There was one of those games this year where I reached out to him, and Baylor had lost another game. I can't remember what they fell to. Maybe it was 4-4. And I remember I heard back from him immediately, and just the disappointment level was unbelievable. So I would say Mac, honestly, was pretty good at matching the fans' frustration and anger. But you kind of have to, in that role, rise above or get away. Not that you can't tap into that. And no, I think Doug, hopefully, can be a bit of a blend of Ian and Mac in that area. Certainly, Ian knew that he had this, and Scott, I'm glad you brought up Kim Mulkey. I don't think Doug would have ever let that thing get to the point it got. And again, I know some people are happy she's gone and all that. I don't want to relitigate that or look back at that. Okay, I'm just saying, Mac, I think he felt like she undermined him, and by virtue of that, man, he had enough of her. And she was so polarizing within the department that, you had people that didn't get along with her in other sports. You had some people who swore by her and loved her. And so there were sort of factions that would happen. And by the end, Mac was ready to see her go. I don't know if she was ready to go. Certainly, if President Livingstone or anybody had simply, it wasn't even about money. It was like showing her how they felt and how much they wanted her to remain. Was that her name on the court? I don't know. That's too much to get into. But I'll just say, Doug, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, he would have handled the Kim situation way differently. It just never would have risen. Like, Ian McCall knew he had like a superstar on his hands. So Ian McCall, again, did he maybe give her too much latitude? Maybe. But, that's not what Bob Knight or name coach after coach over the years, especially male coaches, were given tremendous latitude, okay? Mike Leach was only reined in and fired because things got political and there was a stupid thing that happened with Craig James's kid. Otherwise, that was a dumb thing that happened. But I guess I'm using that as an illustration of the fact that Doug would have handled it, I think, probably more like Ian than Mac. Again, not saying anybody's wrong, not saying Mac was wrong or right or whatever. Mac was a hard-charging, hold you accountable, could be tough on coaches. Some of them liked him, some of them probably resented him, and some of them are probably thrilled that he's gone. Now, watch out for that, because who knows? Maybe Doug will take a peek at a program and go, I might do something different there. But I do think the main sense that I feel over there on that campus right now is healing and a sense of relief, because Mac liked confrontation and he liked holding people accountable. Not that Doug won't hold people accountable. He'll just do it in a way different way. Okay? It'll be from a collaborative, supportive. Now, was Mac like that with Scott? Collaborative, supportive? Yes. But Scott won a national title when the two were together. Yes. Dude, are there superstar rules? Yes, absolutely. And that's probably why Kim felt like at some point she could say anything in the world, and Mac got sick of it. He got tired of it. When they wanted to build a new arena, she was like, well, no, this thing should be over here. This thing should be over here on the campus. They should not do it over there and all that. And he was so sick of it. Okay? But again, I told y'all this. Those two they couldn't stand each other. And in the end, Mac sort of won the power struggle, and sadly, Mac now is out of a job, not because of that, completely separate of that. Unfortunately, Mac had some missteps and now finds himself out of a job. And Doug McNamee takes advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime. My thought is, I'm fine if people are mad at the hire or have reasons or whatever, but he's hired now. Like, I'm kind of like, let's see what he does. Can we kind of see? Are we just going to literally just kind of sit around and make those extreme jokes? I mean, I've offered the joke series. I mean, I like the jokes. But, you know, okay, let's see how he does. And if this is an outside the box hire, that should be extremely interesting to us. From an NIL perspective, let's see. If he saved Film Stream, I mean, can you imagine this brand that we all grew up knowing had zero revenue? Ooh, whoa. I mean, even I could take it from like $0 to $100 in revenue, I think. I mean, there's nowhere else to go but up if you take over that deal. But apparently, he got it back, and now there's like a magazine again. I don't know. I mean, heck, I might even try to go fishing with him if he's learned a bunch of stuff about the new techniques and some of the fly fishing. I can see us being out on the banks of the Brazos together, kind of talking about football, talking about some of the deal, and just fishing. I mean, it would almost be kind of a river runs through it moment. Just two young guys out on the Brazos River doing all that stuff you do. The flies going all around. You know, the only thing that is untrue about that whole scenario is that young part. Neither one. Although I do appreciate DK. David K made me feel great yesterday because he came up and he said, "Did you and Doug go to school together?" It's not good for Doug, but it was a nice moment for me. Okay, Doug probably is a good 8 years younger. All right. Okay, let's take a break, and then I've got more things to say on the whole scene yesterday, but I also want to get into the Cowboys situation. We have people watching on Twitter, like, when's Mosley going to talk about the Cowboys? I hope they're doing that. And I am going to respond, and I'm going to tell you what it meant, what happened to the Eagles last night, and we're watching an organization implode, and we're watching a city turn on a great quarterback, a quarterback that's done a lot for them, but they're turning on him in a hurry, and the Cowboys could benefit from this. All of that coming up next.